Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to PJ Party Monday. This is our boosters, serums, and supplements OY event that takes place once a month where we chat about some of the things you never hear about in Mary Kay. Like very often, if you've been hanging out with us, you've heard a lot about some of our skincare lines and our standard supplements like the charcoal mask microdermabrasion and the facial peel. But there's tons. Mary Kay actually has over 200 product lines of things you don't get to hear about all the time. And very often you get to see some of the same faces, but there's tons of stories in Mary Kay that you don't get to hear. So this is our monthly event where we get to share about some of our favorite kind of boosters, serums, and supplements. And we get to hear stories from different women in Mary Kay. And I'm excited because tonight you're going to hear from the fabulous Alicia Nelson. She's a brand new mama, and we're just excited to have her on. Before we kind of get to know Alicia and get to hear about some of her favorite serums and supplements, just a couple of reminders. Next week, PJ Party Monday, April birthdays. What are we? Who are that? Tauruses, right? And Aries. Okay. So Aries and Tauruses, it's your birthday. I'm a Taurus too, even though my birthday's in May. So we're going to be celebrating our early Tauruses and our late Aries in April. And so that will be super exciting. And then of course, the following week, we're going to have on the first Monday in May is going to be our Mary Kay bingo. So we have bingo every single first Monday of the month. So we've got lots of fun things coming up. And then Mary Kay Corporate is going to be doing an event called It Just Fits for women that are thinking about Mary Kay from a business perspective. Again, just hearing other voices and other stories. And we'll be all watching that together live in this group on Thursday, April 28th. So lots of fun things going on. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to do so. If you're not part of our Facebook group, make sure to do that as well. So you will always be in the know as to what's going on. Okay, let's dive in, get to meet Alicia, and get to talk about some of the other things in Mary Kay you don't get to hear about. Alicia, thank you so much for being my guest this evening. You look absolutely beautiful. Alicia, tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Where do you live now? And what is your regular daytime job?
All right. Thank you so much, Farah. So I'm originally from Connecticut, those cold weather months, don't miss it. I am now in Pompano, Florida, and absolutely love it here. I grew up in Connecticut with two sisters, my mom and my dad, and I moved down here to pursue my bachelor's degree in marine science. What a great place to do that. And then what was the other question? Sorry.
Okay, so what is your regular job now?
My regular job. So my regular job is I am a 6th and 7th grade science teacher.
Okay, awesome. Where did you go to school?
I went to school at Nova Southeastern University.
Okay, awesome. All right. So how did you hear about Nova from Connecticut?
Great question. So I actually started my marine science career at Connecticut State University College, Eastern Connecticut State University College. For those of you that are familiar with Connecticut State Colleges, this one is in particular landlocked. I don't know why I was thinking I could do marine science when I'm pretty much landlocked. Yes, they had marine science courses, but I was missing the ocean. So I decided to start looking around, and I actually moved down to Florida on my own, no family, nothing. Little adventurous, yeah. And I lived on a 60-foot yacht sailboat for about 3 months or so.
Wait. How did you come to be on a 60-foot yacht? You're just skipping parts of the story.
This was a previous boyfriend of mine.
There was a sugar daddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what's happening.
Yes, he was a high school sweetheart. So yes, things did not work out, but I ended up looking into different programs, and that's when I came across Nova. And I'll never forget that my very first class I went in for marine science, my teacher told me, or my professor said, we're going to be going out into the reefs to go snorkeling. And I was just so excited. And I knew that's where I was meant to be at the time.
Wow. Yeah, I was asking because I'm from Miami, born and raised, and I did my undergrad at University of Miami, and then I ended up teaching at Nova, and I had never heard of Nova my whole entire life. And I lived in Florida, so I was just so curious, like, how did you hear about Nova from Connecticut? But it's actually when you were in Florida. Okay, I got it. All right, oh, good. Okay, and so you said you're a 6th and 7th grade teacher. When you were majoring in marine science, was the goal always to be a teacher?
No, actually, I wanted to own my own aquaculture facility, which I actually did. I didn't own it, but I actually ran an aquaculture facility. So aquaculture is just raising the fish. So the fish that you see in an aquarium, I mainly focused on marine. So it was mainly saltwater. So I raised in captivity, I raised seahorses when they gave birth. I've done phytoplankton and krill and all those types of mini species as well. Corals. I worked with a lot of different species here in the Florida coastline.
Wow. Okay, that's so interesting. All right, so you end up being a teacher. What made you decide to be a teacher, and how did you enjoy it?
What I decided, well, my mother always told me I was going to be a teacher. I was the type of person that was on the beach and I would be teaching the little kids, like I'd be hunting for crabs and fiddler crabs and all that, all the sea stars, everything, and teaching them about the marine creatures. So my mom was like, you'll always be a teacher. You will, you will. What got me into teaching was I actually did some non-traditional teaching. I worked at Miami Seaquarium for a bit as a education specialist. So I did a lot of the camp counseling and all of the educational programs there. And from there, I grew out and I stemmed out. And actually, I stumbled upon NSU University School, which is where I work now. I stumbled upon it by actually nannying one of their students, and there was a position open, so I ended up co-teaching with another teacher, and they told me I was a natural born teacher. And ever since then I fell in love, and I was like, all right, Mom, you are absolutely right.
Wow, what we speak over our children, and we recognize things in them before they even see it. That's amazing. And I just love, I've never even known parts of this story. That's why I love getting the opportunity to do this, is just how one thing led to another, one thing led to another. Okay. And so obviously today you're Mary Kay brand ambassador. Before we get to how that happened, you're still teaching, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And had you known anything about Mary Kay prior to this iteration of Mary Kay? What were your impressions of Mary Kay prior to this? Tell me a little bit about like your history with Mary Kay prior to joining the Mary Kay brand ambassador family.
So I've heard of Mary Kay, but I wasn't really sure what it was. How I kind of got into it was a year and a half ago. 2 years ago, I had a roommate, and she was throwing a party. So that's how I got introduced to Mary Kay. Before, I was a little skeptical when she said, we're going to try some skincare, etc. And her and I were both getting married around the same time. Due to COVID, we both had to postpone everything. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I went there. I'm not the type of person that wears makeup, or really, I was the type of person that used soap and water. I barely worried about my face, and I despise makeup because of the fact that I did competitive dance. So we would have to cake on the makeup to show on stage. So for me, that aspect I was just very hesitant about. And then, I was hearing for other people, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme. You don't want to get involved. So,
okay. Yeah. Interesting. So even before you came in, that was kind of what you came in. And so you actually get to try the products. And what was your experience like then? And how did your mind kind of shift and change to the fact that you ultimately decided to become a representative for the company?
So when I was trying the products, I had no idea what I was doing. I actually learned a lot of information just about my skin itself. And I was just so in awe about the information that you were actually the one doing the party, which was great. And that's how we met. So just the information and then doing the products. My favorite part, and I'll never forget my first experience of doing a charcoal mask. Everyone else's charcoal mask looked 10 times different than mine. And when it was dry, I was like, is my face really that dirty? I'll never forget that. So,
oh my goodness. Okay, I love it. All right, so you go to your first Mary Kay Beauty experience. You get to try the products. You like the products. You like the educational components of the experience. But you didn't start a Mary Kay business right after that. What was the next thing that happened?
So I did another skincare session with the same ladies. We did microdermabrasion. And again, there was so much information that I learned just from that one session. And then just hanging out with my girlfriends was a lot of fun as well as taking taking care of our skin. So it was really, really a great experience. I really enjoyed it. And then from there, I started thinking about doing my own party. So I threw my own party, and a lot of friends and family members came, and they had so much fun. And honestly, it was the spur of a moment. It was about 3 days before my actual wedding. And Farrah and I had a conversation. I said, oh, I want to sign up and try. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, so you mentioned that you love the products, and we're going to talk about some of those products. The very first product I think you ever purchased from me was the Nourishing Oil, and that still remains one of your favorite products today. And that's one of the products we want to showcase today because it is one of your favorites. So tell us about the Nourishing Oil. What made you fall in love with it? What does it do, and how do you use it?
All right. So yes, by all means, like, it is the top, my favorite. It was my very first purchase. I was hesitant at first because the Nourishing Oil you cannot receive samples for. With Mary Kay, you could try before you buy, but that's one product that you can't. And I actually liked the fact of that, because the reason they don't send those samples is because it would change the composition of the actual oil inside of the container. And the container's in glass. So being a scientist, I really am aware about the environment and taking care of the environment and really using reusable things. So having the naturally oil allowed me to do that, because the packaging was biodegradable. You know, the actual material comes in a glass bottle with a glass dropper. And honestly, I used my Nourishing Oil. I used it every single day. I use it on my skin for moisturizer. And I also use it on my cuticles as well as my dead ends on my hair. And then when we're in Florida, because of the humidity, I use it for the frizz. So I always have a little bit on the go in my purse. So if I have really frizzy hair, I just it takes 1 to 2 drops, and I used it for about, I would say, the entire bottle, and I'm telling you, I doused myself in it about 6 months, possibly even 7. So I mean, really, it's worth it. It really is worth that purchase, because one little drop will cover my entire face. And I was skeptical about it because of the fact that it's an oil, and I really have oily skin, and I'll talk about that with our next product. But I had oily skin on my T-zone, so I was really nervous to add that to my skin. But it actually sinks into your skin, and it has what's called squalene. So it's really absorbed into your skin versus secreting that oil. So that's what I love about the product. And bonus, if you're up north, it smells like a tropical island.
So good. All right. So tell me, kind of, in your regular skincare regime, when do you put on your Nourishing Oil?
So I cleanse, and then I put my serum on, and then I put the Nourishing Oil as my moisturizer.
Okay. So you don't use the day cream or the night cream. You put your Nourishing Oil as your moisturizer.
Yes. Sometimes I'll use the night cream because anti-aging, you know.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so I love that you said that, you guys. So a couple of things from what Alicia said. First and foremost, all of our Mary Kay products can go with all of our Mary Kay products, right? And so you can take pieces from this line, pieces from this line, and mix and match them together. As Alicia mentioned, the Nourishing Oil is part of our Mary Kay Naturally line. And so she mentioned that all the product packaging is biodegradable. It's literally 99% squeezed from a tree into a bottle to your home. So I remember that being your very first purchase. And I'm glad that you love that to that day. And that, of course, is our number one featured product today. And so you mentioned there's another serum that you love that you use. What serum is that? That's our number two featured product today. Tell us about that.
So it's the Pore Minimizer Serum. So those of you who have larger pores on your face, I highly recommend it. It does come with the microdermabrasion set, but you can use the Pore Minimizer Serum every single day, which I do. And I've noticed a difference. I usually had, I used to have very, very large pores on my nose and like right in between my eyebrows. So what I do is I just put a little bit on my fingers and I put it around that area, and I've seen such a reduction in my pores. It's fantastic, and it's very easy. It's very light to put on, so if you want to put it on your entire face, you can, but it's not a moisturizer.
Okay, yes. Okay, so I was just about to talk about that. Just refresh our mind. Order. So if I'm doing like my pore minimizing serum and it's not microdermabrasion night, on Mondays we micro. So by the way, tonight is a micro night for those of you out there paying attention, right? On Mondays we micro, on Wednesdays we charcoal, on Fridays is facial peel Fridays. So it's just a regular night. Maybe it's Tuesday, okay? But I can use my pore minimizing serum daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can use my Nourishing Oil daily.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the order I'm doing it in?
So you're going to cleanse first, and then you're going to do your serum. Okay. And then you would either do the Nourishing Oil. You could use it as a moisturizer, or you could do your day or night cream.
Okay. I can combine Nourishing Oil and still do day or night cream too?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to feel too heavy or too oily?
No, absolutely not. I do it at nighttime, so.
I love that. Okay, that's such good stuff. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing some of your fabulous products. And so you've been doing your skincare regime, building your Mary Kay business, sharing some of the fabulous products. And then you recently, January, had a baby, right?
Yes.
When is Damien's birthday?
He was born January 21st this year.
January 21st. Okay. Mm-hmm. I got to remember that's my sister's birthday. Okay. Awesome. January 21st. Okay. So tell us a little bit, now that you've had a baby, what, if any, has there been a change in focus? How has working your business looked like? You've done Mary Kay now single. I mean, you were single for 3 days, but you know what I'm saying. Single, married, newlywed, and now as a new mom. How has it, as you've gone through seasons, how has working your business changed in seasons?
So honestly, I have never worked my business so much and have been so motivated because of my son. Nowadays, a lot of moms have to work a 9-to-5 job, and really, honestly, Mary Kay allows me, even though I'm a teacher, I still love teaching. It allows me to work when I want to. So it is very flexible and it fits with my schedule, especially like, for instance, I came home from teaching tonight. I did a couple of phone calls while little man was still sleeping, and then he woke up, and he wanted mommy. So I stopped there and I hung out with my son, So with this business, it has been such a gift for myself and my family. Even before, when I was going through my marriage, I needed some positivity in my life because my wedding was actually postponed 3 different times. So I did not do the actual wedding that I wanted up in Connecticut. I had a small backyard wedding at my mother-in-law's. So I was really I was excited for it, but it wasn't the one that I planned for. So it was a little bit different. Yeah. So with Mary Kay, and then with teaching, honestly, I know all you parents can relate, especially with the online learning. From a teacher's perspective, it was extremely hard. It was, it was eye-opening in a way, but it was very hard for me not to go into school and see those smiling faces, because it's very different when you're interacting on screen versus in person. So it really, I don't want to say it was negative, but it wasn't what I was hoping for when I signed up for teaching, because nobody signed up for online learning.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of adjustment. So having Mary Kay at that point really was a lifesaver because of the growth development that I've had in my personal life, and also the positivity. All the women here are amazing. You have your own business, but you're not by yourself. You have immense and tremendous amount of support. It's amazing. Like I can't even, like, I'm getting teary-eyed because it's just fantastic coming home to amazing women that want to hear your story, that want to be, are there for you. They were there for me through thick and thin, like hard times, good times, bad times, and I've got friends all around the United States. And these women I probably would have never met in my life if it wasn't for Mary Kay.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's some of those intangibles we don't know about, right? We think we're just coming in for 50% off or because we love the products. And then the relationships that last a lifetime, the personal development, having something positive in your life when all sorts of craziness is going on. I love that. All right. Well, I am so curious as we kind of close out, if we had someone that was listening here thinking, I'm a mom, I work a full-time job, could Mary Kay ever be for me, especially in this season where I'm adjusting maybe to being a new mom, or I've got 7 kids and I'm about to have my 8th or whatever. What would you say? What would be your advice?
Do it and try it. Honestly, you don't know until you try. It's a blessing. It really is. It's a blessing to my family. It's a blessing for being a new mom. And like I said, the women here are not going to leave you by yourself. You have tremendous amount of support. Just do it. Go for it. What's stopping you?
I love it. I don't know. Okay, I love it. All right, you guys. So, Alicia, thank you for sharing so beautifully. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing our 2 featured products today, the Nourishing Oil and the Pore Minimizing Serum. If you're interested in those products, of course, you can reach out to your Mary Kay brand ambassador. I promise you will not be disappointed. She'll walk you through how to use everything. Like Alicia mentioned, you just can't sample the Nourishing Oil. And if you're thinking about Mary Kay from a business perspective, if you have questions, you're ready to go, we would love to welcome you to the family. So whether you're part of the customer family, whether you're part of the brand ambassador family, we're so grateful for you. Alicia, thank you for sharing your fascinating story. And we're just so proud of you and excited to have you as part of the Mary Kay and Ferris Firecrackers family. Thank you, everybody, for being on. We hope this was educational for you. Have a blessed night.